Hello, good people out there. This is a very great moment. I'm presenting to you an action man. It took me a number of weeks and months to apprehend this very guy. And I call him a genius because he knows a lot. He has a wide range of knowledge about everything concerning life and humanity. I met him in the way of my working place, and I decided to engage him on this very topic concerning Nigeria and Biafra, because he lived in Nigeria with his family for good 5 years, 6 years. So he knows a lot. You know, he has a very strong, wonderful connection in Nigeria, even up to this very moment. So you hear a lot of things from his own side concerning the matters of the realities. I called it realities of our time. So fans out there, well-wishers, please listen attentively, because you are hearing firsthand from the horse's mouth. Whatever he says is QED. Thank you for listening. I'll ask him various questions so you can hear what he will say. He's an engineer by profession, and by name Raymond de Lateke. That is his real name. And I met him in the city of Hazilia, Israel. Now, by abbreviation, I call him Rami. So, Mr. Rami, you are welcome into the show.
Thank you very much, Joseph. I really appreciate this opportunity.
You are a very interesting man, and you know, all the while, I'm so much interested in your knowledge, because I want to know what you know. It makes you so different. That's why we are here today. I thank you.
Thank you
for giving me this opportunity.
It's a pleasure.
Right. So, I would like you to introduce yourself to the audience, to the viewers out there, just for a very little while, so that they can understand you, understand where you're coming from. So,
well, as you mentioned, Joseph, my name is Raymond. In Israel, I go by the name of Rami. And currently, I'm working as a maintenance management in charge of all the systems in a rather large building. Electricity, water, the swimming pool, the hotel part, the commercial part. And I come in contact with a lot of people. It's a job which requires a lot of professional knowledge, and also the ability to be very patient with people, and really be the kind of person who wants to take care of people and make them feel good in general. Because, you know, here in Israel, life is very hectic, and people are running from place to place, and when they are home, they want to feel that they're being taken care of. So basically, it's a psychological job and a professional job. So I need to be very attentive to the people and to their reactions, and really put my ego down and not think about myself when I'm at work. But the people really appreciate it, and I'm really happy to be in a position where I can help people and be of use in general.
That's nice. That's why I call you a genius. Take my hand again.
Thank you, thank you.
Right. Let's go into the business of the day. The first question I would like to ask you is this. As you and your family lived in Nigeria for a very long time, you know, what are the good things and bad things you can say about Nigeria?
Well, first of all, I'd like to mention the people in Nigeria in general, because everywhere we went, and whenever we met people, strangers, I mean, not just people who we were acquainted with, well, there's some kind of kindness in the people, and you don't get this rush for run all the time and achieve something, but there's like a tempo which is more in coordination with nature. people understand the important things in life. People understand the value of family. The family system is very strong in Nigeria, where in the Western world it is no longer applicable, because people, children leave the house and they no longer see their parents, or they see them only on holidays. And that was very different to me in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Because you see little children being taken care, even not by their mother or father, but their uncle or their neighbor. And there was more sense of community, I would say.
Right, I understand.
This is something that, and also, when I first came to Nigeria, all the time they told us, be careful, it's a strange country, and the color differences.
Yes.
And then I came there and I said, there's nothing to worry about, nothing to fear. I mean, we lived in the Lagos area, and I think Lagos was, at that time, when we arrived in 1973, the 1970s, I think Lagos was much safer than cities like London or New York or, Paris. And yes, this is the first thing that struck me about the people in Nigeria.
That was those days.
Those days, yes.
But this very time is full of anarchy, crisis, problem everywhere.
Well, the last time...
People are not sure of the day as they move about their business.
So Nigeria obviously went through a very bad phase. It has gone backwards rather than forwards. And this is unfortunate.
Exactly.
This is really unfortunate, because I really like the people. I like them very much, even though I don't live there anymore.
Okay.
But every time I see someone from Nigeria, well, I feel a kind of familiarity.
Yeah,
I say, oh, where are you from? And
it's part of you.
Yes, it's
That's
part of
nice.
me. It's part of me, yes.
It's interesting.
I have some good memories from there.
That's good. And you said well, but what amazed me this very day is I'm so surprised that you can talk so good about Nigeria of those days. Really, Nigeria those days was in unity, in peace, and stuff like that. But coming from that part of Africa, they used to call Nigerian giant of Africa, because we have a lot of, amazing things happening. But all those things have gone down the drain. This very present time is quite different, totally different. It's full of crisis. You can see the anger on the faces of people, There is nowhere you can see peace at any corner, because everybody is a suspect. Everybody wants to take advantage of each other. And that is why it's very, very terrifying situation. If somebody offer you $1 billion to spend an hour in Nigeria, you will cry today. Because the histories you see on social media, the stories on mainstream media, stories on television and stuff like that, it's a reality. Death, every corner.
Absolutely.
And we are trying to change it.
Absolutely.
That is why some parts of Nigeria are crying for secession, so that they can have peace and have progress in every area of their life. That is the morals of reality of these days.
Of course, I just want to add something, because although the last time that I was in Nigeria was in 1979, I do follow the news and I read about all the events that are happening. There's a lot of violence, there's ethnical violence.
Terribly.
I know that people are not getting with one another.
Yeah.
Of course, so maybe if I was in Nigeria now, I wouldn't like it as much as I liked it then. But then all I'm being able to say is that the information that is being relayed from Nigeria is not good. It's not good.
Exactly.
And Nigeria is a very rich in oil.
Everything.
But however, if you take an example from Saudi Arabia, just about the school system, people go to university for free. Is that happening in Nigeria?
Even a cup of water they cannot get free from the government.
Yeah, people are not getting proper
They squeeze
education.
ounce of pound of flesh from you before you can get anything you want.
This is unfortunate, because
It's very, very.
the children are the future of every country. If you don't invest in the children, then you have no future whatsoever. And this is really sad, because the children are suffering, people are suffering, families are suffering.
That's right.
And I'm very sad about it, because I have good memories of the time I lived there, and I'm very sad to know that the people whom I was in contact with are not happy about their lives as they were before. And definitely some kind of a change needs to take place.
Serious change. We need a good leader. Because one thing I would like to say clearly here, Nigeria have no leader. We got only rulers. Because any of them that claims to be a leader, ask him the definition of a leader. If you're able to define a leader, there's no characteristics or qualities of a leader, a good leader, that comes out of his life. They are opportunists that embezzle, they misappropriate, they kill, they destroy. They don't think about national future. None of them thinks about future. Pockets, bank accounts, properties abroad, and very lot of shit like that. How can a country have a progress with this system? It doesn't work. It's 20 steps backwards, and that is why Nigeria is going down. Nigeria will implode as soon as possible, because this is what a lot of people are predicting, and it's a reality, and it must surely happen.
Well, you are describing a situation which I felt that if you compare a country to a suitcase, so it's tearing in the seams. This is the realization. I mean, I was amazed. I remember the case of Amadou Diko, when they tried to kidnap him in London.
You had a story about that.
And then the thing which most amazed me was the amount of money which he was suspected of embezzling.
It's a reality.
I was thinking,
it was a fact.
Listen, I honestly think,
it was a fact.
If you're a politician, so you steal a few million, so it happens in every part of the world.
They don't think of stealing, they feel like taking it all.
But it was billions of dollars.
Billions.
I mean, it was
crazy.
So much money.
They steal Nigeria to stupor.
Yes, it was
They
absolutely
siphon completely everything. That is all in their diary. And they continue to do it since the foundation of Nigeria up to this moment, even tomorrow. The problem now is the economy is so down that they don't see anything to steal again. They're even stealing human beings. Because there's no money again to steal. They are trying to steal human beings and sell to Britain. Britain, who is their father and their mother. And I thank you for this, which ideas you present, you give into the program. Then if I ask you again, in Nigeria, really, actually, we have 3 ethnic regions. The Igbo, probably you can call it in this present time the Biafran, the Yoruba, and the Hausas. Which among them do you find a lot of potentials?
Well, before we talk about potential, I'd like to talk about similarity. Yeah. Myself being a Jewish person, I feel that there's some kind of a kinship between the people of Biafra and the people of Israel, because we, the people of Israel, we strived for 2,000 years to create our own nation, our own place where we can feel safe.
Yeah.
And I feel that the people in Biafra, they are trying to do just the same. Because when I talked about ethnic violence, I realize now that it is directed towards the Igbo people, because you get a lot of news. There's public publications about the government killing people in Biafra. There's news about other ethnic groups attacking.
It's complete genocide.
So
systematic extermination.
So yes, I think that the Igbo people, well, they have a sense of nationhood without being nationalistic. They don't think that other people don't deserve the same as they do. Because in many countries, you see, and I don't want to talk about politics, but in many places, people think, well, me and my kind are the best. And you don't get to that with the Igbo people and the Biafrans, because they respect everybody else, but they want to achieve their own rights. And
exactly.
Yes, there is a similarity, because the striving for a nation, the striving for independence, which is more than national independence, it is a spiritual independence, it is intellectual independence, it's the ability to be a productive person without being persecuted. So yes, I think that if you talk to me about Nigeria and you say, well, which people you think have more potential, then I think the Biafrans are more looking towards the future. They want to go forward. So this is the basic difference which I see.
That you are right. It's just like hitting the nail at the head. You know, in most cases, it has been proven time and time again that Nigeria and Biafra, rather, is the lost tribe of Israel, in a nutshell. And we are descendants of God. History has proven that. There's been a lot of, research, historians from of Jewish nation. They've been in Nigeria time and time again. There have been a lot of biologists and some other, institutions that want to determine is what history is saying exactly the truth. Now, the moment they, got into Biafra, on some places we call the, the places of events. They visited those areas and, architectural histories. They saw all these features and they really believe and concluded, actually, Biafra is a real lost tribe of Israel. Some time ago, they tested the DNA of some Biafrans, and that was the final thing that confirmed the story. Till date, Nigeria know, and other parts of the world really know that Biafra is the lost tribe of Israel. So it's a history that nobody can hide.
Well, it is an historical fact that some of the people of Israel were exiled to Africa.
Exactly.
And yes, it is an
They migrated towards that side of Western Africa through Ethiopia, and they ended up in Nigeria and settled there. Start spreading. If I start mentioning, if time could allow us to mention names and talk everything in details, I can give you some of the examples. You understand? There are some languages you speak now that when you translate it completely, you end up having the same word in Biafra.
Really, I didn't know
exactly,
that.
yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
It took a number of time for us to do this research, and tomorrow it still remains the same. We call it KED, nothing more to add. So in continuation of our presentation, I would like to ask you another interesting question. See that? Do you think restoration of Biafra is achievable?
Well, before we talk about the future, let's talk a little bit about the past. And it is a fact that Biafra was in existence before Nigeria.
Exactly.
And
how do you know this?
Well, I saw some interesting books that actually have the word Biafra in them. And just reading, the Nigeria is actually part of the colonialistic system. Everywhere in Africa, the ruling countries, they simply gathered together a few tribes and it was easier for them to rule them that way. And as a matter of fact, when the British left Nigeria and the Belgians left Congo and the French left and everybody left, they left a big mess. They didn't leave organized government, they didn't give people the tools to govern themselves or manage an economy. And this is why Africa was in general in great upheaval in the 1960s. And it takes a very long time to achieve statehood even after you're given independence. So yes, but statehood is one thing, but justice is another. And I think that if there's a will, there is a way. And if the people of Biafra feel that they need their own country, then it will happen. It will happen. I don't know when. I'm not a prophet, but eventually it will happen. We're waiting for 2,000 years. I hope you don't have to wait that long. But the current situation is in many countries that countries are splitting apart because they can no longer, even Sudan agreed to let the South Sudan to become an independent state.
Exactly.
Because they realized there was so many problems they cannot deal with it.
Yeah.
And the worse the situation gets in Nigeria, because currently I don't say that it's going to get any better,
It's
economically
it's
or
impossible.
otherwise.
Practically impossible.
So I think this will enhance the will of the people to live in an independent state, because the ability of the people of Biafra to manage is, well, I think it's well known. It's a well established fact.
You're right. Exactly.
And you have your people who are well educated. You have your people who are willing to put their own interest behind in order to serve the rest of the people. So there's great potential there. It's a possibility. Well, only God knows what will happen.
Exactly. In issues of reality, you are saying the fact. I don't know you have this huge knowledge about the things or events going on in Nigeria. So I so appreciate you so much for your contribution.
Thank you, thank you.
And then lastly, on the final question, I would like to ask you this, and I would like you to, say the way it should be, or the way what you think from the bottom of your heart. What do you think is the advice you can give to Biafrans and Nigerian rulers? In Nigeria or in Africa in general, we don't have leaders, we have only rulers. So what do you think, or what advice do you have to give to Biafrans and Nigerian rulers?
Well, I can only give them advice from my life's experience. And
or what do you have to say about the Nigeria and Nigerian rulers and Biafrans?
This is a message I wish to convey to the people of the entire world. Please, no violence, because when it starts, you never know where it stops. And revolutions, they only bring blood, and they only bring death and misery. And violent uprising also brings just sorrow to people. I think there's a great example, which is Czechia and Slovakia. These two countries were one country called Czechoslovakia. And it happened very recently. And they decided they can no longer cohabit within this marriage of one country.
Yeah.
And they simply sat down, signed an agreement, and went their separate states, separate ways. There was no shouting, no screaming, no crying, nothing. They simply separated and they coexist perfectly. So it is possible to take one country to make wise decisions for the benefit of the general population, for all the people, and realize that people don't want to live together, they cannot live together.
Sure.
And if the government cannot protect some of its people, then maybe the government feels that those people, they are not part of the country. So why don't you let them go?
Something like that.
Yes.
Then what view do you have about Nigerian rulers? What can you say about them?
Well,
there are a lot of corruption going on in Nigeria. There are a lot of embezzlement, misappropriation, killing, rituals, and stuff like that.
well, if I criticize the Nigerian rulers, I feel that I'm criticizing the Nigerian people, because the Nigerian people, they accept their rulers, and
no, it's like the leadership is forced on them. Because if any of them want to make a choice,
yes,
none of all the politicians will be in position today.
True.
When you say the truth, you either they will either arrest you and put you in prison, or they kill you. It's two things. So in whichever angle you are coming from, you are not safe, except you are part of them. Whenever they tell you do this, do it without questioning.
Well,
and no life has progress through the system.
Yes.
And that's why we are crying for a change and cessation.
I understand. Well, I still, in a way, I feel that if I'm criticizing Nigerian rulers, I'm criticizing all the Nigerian people. Obviously and logically, it's not so, but, for me, emotionally, it's like that. You criticize one person, you criticize a whole nation. But definitely, I brought you the example of free education in countries who are rich with oil.
Yeah.
And I know from recent photos, about the projects in Nigeria. Well, proper roads. Can you tell me if there are proper roads in Nigeria?
This is terrible.
Can you tell me?
All of them are in a terrible situation.
Well, can you tell me if the medical system is
No, there's
good?
nothing like
Yes,
that. It's non-existent.
Exactly. I'm pointing to some facts which I know the answer to them. But,
Right.
but I think, well, I think that most of the money is not going to the right place. And I think people are still, and I mentioned Amadou Diko, and I'm sorry to say, but I feel that the situation still exists, and people who are in a position of government, they're still taking care of themselves and their families,
Exactly.
and they are not taking care of their people,
society and the people.
society in general.
Yeah.
Because if it was so, then you would have seen the results on the streets.
Every corner.
But
in
you
the
don't see
faces
it.
of people.
No, you don't see it, and it's very sad. It's very sad.
Exactly. Mr. Rami, and
Yes,
the
Mr.
genius of a man.
Well, please. please.
I so appreciate your contribution and your huge idea and the immense effort for this very opportunity. I call it a golden opportunity because it's once in a lifetime. You know, after this moment, I don't know when I will, press you down again to extract words from you. So for the time being, I appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
I thank you for your contribution. And all I'm telling all of you out there, please, you have seen it, how it happens. Then this is from the ego's eye, if I may say, or if I may conclude. So keep keeping it on. And whatever you think you can do to be part of the change, please contribute to your idea. We really need a change. Biafra need to be restored because so keep keeping it on. And whatever you think you can do to be part of the change, please contribute to your idea. We really need a change. Biafra need to be restored because our agitation is you can't force two people to stay together. And you who claim to be